All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name's Adu, and of course, what we're doing here is we're working every day to build ourselves a company that's going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. And I thought what would be really good to do today, excuse me, would be to kind of continue on where we were on Friday, where Friday I was looking at just some information in this whole lean canvas and Leanstack kind of new way of developing business plans. And I started working on a business plan using their little lean canvas on just yesterday. But I figured it'd be really good to maybe just do it. We can work on it together on stream, because then it might be something that you might find useful if you want to do something yourself. You know, if you're doing your own company or business or whatever, we can just kind of go through this and figure it out. So let me see if I could zoom this in a little bit here. Okay, so well, first things first, how was your weekend? Hopefully you had a great weekend and are ready to, what is it, like hit the ground running on this Monday? Ready to tackle the week. Okay, so I did start this a little bit. Then, like I said, I kind of stopped and said, okay, let's kind of do this together. Oh my goodness. I got like no sleep yesterday, so I'll try to fight through this. Okay. So I think I started on this side here because I did watch a few different kind of tutorials and stuff where people were talking about kind of how to kind of start this thing. And I guess you could start on any square, but so I'm just doing the customer segmentation now. And so the idea behind this, I think, is to try to not be as broad as possible. Like, we don't want to have, customer segment, like everyone in the world, right? So trying to really, I guess, focus and narrow it down. And within this thing that has a little hashtag, which is kind of cool, which I guess you can make different types of segmentation. So I think you can like toggle them on and off, although it doesn't show that they're on and off, which is kind of strange. Anyways, so I kind of have two different customer segments. So I have like Webflow designers and developers. And I guess you could even narrow that down, maybe even a little bit more. But I think what I did here is I have this early adopters, and the early adopters in my mind would be Webflow freelancers. So people that, are starting to work with clients, starting to just build websites, and even kind of learning how to use Webflow. That those would be good people to at least initially come on board early, right? Because they're kind of new to Webflow. They're trying out different things and trying out different tools. The other customer segment I have is just like an agency that builds websites for customers. Now, I don't think that's really something that I'd want to target initially. I don't think. But anyways, I just put it in there because, I don't know, I'm just building this thing and let's kind of see how it goes. And I think I don't know when we're going to be presenting this in our little class. So I'll definitely let you know how that goes as well too. So that'll be kind of interesting. Maybe I could record what I do. Maybe not obviously record other people, but maybe record my audio and record some of the feedback so I can show it to you guys. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. Okay. So, and then I have the problem. And so I kind of broke this down into the three biggest problems that I could think of. And in terms of what people would have, what problems they have. So I have the Webflow designers and developers. They spend a lot of time building websites from scratch every time they have a new client, designing very good looking and aesthetic Webflow websites. And I don't want to get too detailed in terms of having good UI and all that kind of stuff too. But that's, difficult and or time consuming. Maybe I'll just say is time consuming. Because I know as somebody who's like a developer, they might not even have the right skill set to be able to do that as well too. Because designers and developers, they often have different skill sets. But also with agencies, breaking that down a little bit, is they could have tight deadlines with clients. They might be working on lots of different projects with other different clients, and they could have, tight deadlines. So that could be a problem as well too. So existing alternatives. So obviously there's component libraries that exist. There's templates out there that you can look at. Agencies themselves can have their own way of doing things. The alternative could just be just keep on going with the status quo. But I think that's the biggest alternatives right now. I mean, you can already go and access components. You can already go and access templates. I mean, like if I was building a YouTube, like a video player, like the existing alternatives would be like YouTube or Vimeo, Rumble, whatever, right? So where do we go from here? Solutions. So they have these each video. So I've watched the videos for these two, but I haven't seen them for these internal ones. So let's have a look and see what they say in terms of solutions and how to build your little idea here for the solution. Okay.
This is usually the box.
Oh, hang on. Let me turn this up.
This is usually the box we makers like to spend the most time on because solution building comes easy to us. But to keep you focused, I purposely constrained this box around the top problems you listed earlier. For each problem you listed in your problem box, briefly describe how you would solve it with a feature of your solution. Here are the top highlights of my solution from the photo sharing example. I took each of the problems on the left and outlined what the solution would need to include to address the problem.
Okay, interesting. All right. So the solution to the first problem. I guess I would just say, like just ready-made components and templates, right? And then designing, so just high quality. I would say like, what would be another word of saying like a full template? Like, something that's ready to go. Like high quality, fully featured templates. Like the CMS collections are kind of done, kind of all ready to go. I mean, high quality, that's a little subjective. So like full featured. Yeah, I guess full featured templates. So agency with tight deadlines, like one click component, like install or use. Right, so it's easy to use. Everything just speeds up the whole development process. And template, like install. I think that sounds about right. Okay, and key metrics. Is that the next one?
Key metrics represent the key numbers you need to track to measure progress in your business model. I'll cover 5 key metrics every business needs to track in a future video. Today, I want you to focus on just one key metric, your minimum success criteria. Notice I said minimum success criteria, not maximum upside potential. A lot of people try to focus on the
Hey Kevin, how you doing? Hopefully you had a great weekend. I've never seen this process prior to Friday's stream. Really interesting and appreciate you sharing it. Yeah, no problem at all. Just something a little bit different. And I think I've been really busy with just developing and building stuff in Webflow and remembering the whole point of this stream is to document the whole process of all the different assets and facets that are involved in trying to build like a successful business, right? So that hopefully in 2 years' time, Pixel has gone from 0 to 1 million, and then people can kind of just see everything that has gone into building a business, including writing business plans and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you find value in it. So thank you.
maximum upside potential of their idea, but that is much harder to estimate. Imagine taking a time machine and visit the Google or Facebook founders when they were first starting out and asking them whether they thought they would go on to build billion-dollar companies. Both of them would probably have laughed at you. In the case of Google, we know that despite building a very popular search engine, they struggled for years to find a sustainable business model and even tried to get themselves sold to Yahoo for $1 million, which got turned down. So at that point in time, we could say that their minimum success criteria morphed from whatever it started at to $1 million. That didn't keep the Google founders from going on to build a billion-dollar company. And that's the key point. No one penalizes you for revising your goals upwards. But you need to have a goal. You need to have a minimum success criteria to keep you focused and one that you can use to model your progress along the way.
All right, fair enough.
So here's a definition of the minimum success criteria. Your minimum success criteria is the smallest outcome that would deem your project a success X years from now, where X is less than 3 years. I like to use 3 years as the upper limit of your time box because anything further out becomes simply too hard to see.
Yeah, I know for me, I want to have my time box as almost having something for the end of the year, like where I see my success at the end of the year. And even just me thinking before him finishing this off and maybe coming up with a better idea. But for me, it's something as simple like having, like 10 users using the system and using the product, but from between like now and Christmas time. And the reason it would be so low is because I know from the other aspects of this canvas is that the operating costs of doing this is going to be very, very low. Like there's hosting and, maybe some other things that I use, other tools that I use in order to like build different things. But other than that, like graphical assets and stuff like that. But it's very, very cheap and very easy to run. Obviously my time, other than my time, right? It's cost basically nothing. So anyways, let's continue.
The key is picking a time box just far enough into the future that allows you to demonstrate a small working scale version of your business model. Next, I suggest framing your outcome in terms of a revenue number versus profit or company valuation. Yearly revenue keeps the model simple. The others are derivations of revenue anyway. If you want to factor them in, use a rough gross margin or valuation multiplier to convert your desired profit or valuation number to a yearly revenue number. Finally, you aren't looking for a precise number, but a ballpark. Don't get too worked up on your minimum success criteria. If it helps, think in powers of tens to start. Ask yourself, do I want to build a $100,000 a year business, $1 million a year business, a $10 million business, and so on? Then refine further if needed. It's important to emphasize that not everyone needs to be aiming for billion-dollar business. There is no right or wrong answer to the minimum success criteria question, and your number will be based on your specific situation, ambition, and goals. But you do need to have an answer to this question. This number is what you're going to use to test whether your business model is worth pursuing or not. And I'll share how to do this in an upcoming video. For the photo sharing product, for instance, my minimum success criteria was building a $5 million a year business in 3 years.
Interesting. I think I'm going to do 2 of these things, of these canvases. I think I'm going to do one for the Webflow component and template library, and then I'm going to do another one, which is for Pixel, like Pixel, my actual agency. But I wonder, this very interesting point. I don't know. I wonder. Let's keep it on this one for now, and let's go from there. So that's key metrics, right? I think that's what it was, right? Key metrics?
Key metrics represent the key number to model your progress along the way.
Right, yeah, that was it. Okay. So, and this is the thing too, is because I have an idea of, in my mind, what I want the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the revenue structure and the revenue stream, where I don't want to go by a monthly fee, a subscription fee, but rather a one-time payment. And I can see why the subscription model is so appealing. It's so appealing because you can easily say, oh, I want to have 100 people at $20 a month. So you're making 2,000 a month times 12, you're making 24 grand a year. And then you can scale from that. But if you're just like, oh, I'm just going to charge $200 per user, then you are always going to have to think about how to get the new users or whatever to keep the revenue from coming in. Because once you get a customer once, then that's it. But that being said, there's a whole bunch of other things that you could do business-wise to have different streams of income. So for example, if the Webflow component template library ends up being a success and people buy it for whatever the cost may be, a couple $100, and then there could be things that I can supplement that, where there could be some courses that go along, or there could be some type of, I don't want to say like mastermind, that stuff's being used and thrown around way too much lately, but just these high quality courses or instructions where, depending on what level you're at in your own career as a web designer or developer, whatever, there's different courses that would be available to you that are specific for, specific for you, right? So, and of course, are there other courses out there? Of course there are. There's so many. So there's always going to be that competition. But anyways, that's just one thing that I thought of. Like in the future, this is how you can grow beyond just offering components and templates, right? The educational space is a big thing. So, anyways, so with all that being said, let's just say, let me bring out a calculator here. So let's just say I'm going to be charging $400 for lifetime access. And I say from now till Christmas time, I want to have 10 people. So that's $4,000. So that's kind of a really shitty metric, but not a shitty metric, but a very low goal. It's interesting. How could you... But say we bring it up to getting, say like 1,000. You always talk about like getting 1,000 true customers, right? Or 1,000 fans. So if you get 1,000 fans, and if that's at $399, then that's $400,000. So I think that's a little bit too much in terms of what I would want to look for revenue initially. Let's just say, I'm just going to say between 5 and 10. Let's put it within the first another missing a zero. Whoop. Within the first, say, 3 months. Okay. I think that's good. If I made 10 grand even 5 grand within the first 3 months, for me, that's like, it's validating the proof of concept, right? Like people are going to be willing to pay for it, and we're getting valuable feedback from the customer, and, we can just keep going forward, building different components and templates and whatever. And then like away we go, right? So again, keeping the costs as low as possible. So I like that. Okay. So let's take a look at cost structure. Maybe cost structure. Let's do that one next.
The cost structure box is where you estimate your burn rate or runway for implementing your idea. Your costs are also quite hard to estimate too far out into the future. So instead, pick a smaller time window, like taking your idea to launch or getting your first 10 customers, and list your fixed and variable costs getting there. Once you get closer to that goal, you'll revisit your cost structure again and update your lean canvas. Remember that unlike a business plan, the lean canvas is meant to be a living document that will change regularly with time.
Okay, that's cool.
Here's what an early cost structure box might look like for a new product like the photo sharing product I've been using.
Okay, so I mean, we can go Webflow hosting. This is a little... So I don't even know how many Webflow sites I'm going to need for this, because if I'm going to have different sites, well, I mean, you don't have to publish them. Let's just say say we're going to need 2 sites. And what are 2 sites at the, say 2 sites at the business plan? I think this is overestimating, but let's just go with that. Webflow hosting, $100 a month. Again, so do I include personal salary here and personal expenses? So basically with this one, like I'm using Pixel Media, my, whatever you want to call it, the parent company or whatever. That's what's paying me my money for me personally to be able to live. So I'm not expecting this to be able to actually pay me any money. So it's not going to be burning through money. So what other fees do I need? I need Webflow hosting. I got to pay for that. What other tools do I need? I mean, I think there's definitely going to be just graphic elements. So stock images, music, whatever, stuff like that. That's going to cost, let's just say $1,000 a year for something like that. So that's pretty much it. Oh, you know what? No, there's going to be other stuff too. So there's going to be no code tools. So we're going to have Airtable. Totally forgot about this. Airtable, Zapier, like maybe Make, and MailChimp. Oh, well, I mean, Zapier, I'm paying that. I pay that yearly. Airtable I have for free. So let's just say, let's just estimate this high as well, $1,000 a month. $100 a month. Let's do this again. We'll just go per month. And there's something else that I thought of in terms of expenses. So hosting, no code tools. What else do I use? There's something else I had in my mind. Oh, just like marketing costs. Right. So marketing. So one thing that I was thinking of doing is probably like once we make a landing page to test this, to get people to sign up, might want to think of using Google Ads or something to see if we can get any traction for people to sign up, right? So just ads. And let's just have a budget of, let's just say we're going to spend $500 on this. Okay, so that's the cost structure. All right. What part of the quadrant should we come to next? Put this unfair advantage. Because this is going to be, I think this is going to be a little bit tough.
The unfair advantage is sometimes also called your competitive advantage or barriers to entry. Most first-time entrepreneurs list things here that aren't quite true unfair advantages. One of the most commonly cited unfair advantage is the first mover advantage. Take a look at these companies. None of these companies were first movers in the products we know them for. Rather, they were fast followers. One could actually make a case that being truly first to market is not an unfair advantage, but rather an unfair disadvantage. Because not only do you have to deliver a great product, but you also have to create the market at the same time. Here are other things commonly cited on business plans that, while important, aren't tangible enough to pass the unfair advantage test. So what is a true unfair advantage? I like this simple definition put forward by Jason Cohen, which describes an unfair advantage as something that cannot be easily copied or bought. Here's a list of some things that meet that criteria. The bad news is that while you've been scanning this list, you might not have seen something that immediately applies to you. The good news is that that's okay and very typical. Even Facebook didn't have an inherent unfair advantage when they started. They weren't first and had many competitors who were well funded and already with millions of users. They still managed to build the largest social network on the planet, not because they had an unfair advantage day one, but because they stayed focused on their unfair advantage story, which in their case came from large network effects. Unlike the other boxes, you don't need to get to decide when to test your unfair advantage. It gets tested by your competitors or copycats who follow you once you start getting some traction. If you still can't think of where your unfair advantage will come from, rather than listing some weak unfair advantage, it is much better to leave this box blank. Many unfair advantages reveal themselves over time, and having a blank box on the canvas also serves as a constant reminder for you to continually search for your unfair advantage before it's too late. To complete the photo sharing product lean canvas, here's the unfair advantage I list. Community. Now, this is not something I had day one, but something I intended to build over time and to make that be differentiation that would keep my competitors out from my market. Funded and already with millions.
So that's a very interesting point. I mean, everybody wants to build a community, and that's what I want to do. And, you know, that's part of what I'm doing here by live streaming, what it is I'm working on. I think one thing that I'll say that I know in terms of my unfair advantage, because again, you can go to Reloom library, you can go to Webflow, the templates, there's all kinds of places that you can just buy these things. So my unfair advantage is not going to be that my products are going to be better than anyone else's, because there's some amazing products out there right now. But I think, like what most people say, what people don't have is, like, there's only one of me. So I'd just like to think of the work that I'm doing and the personal brand that I'm trying to build around this whole business is something that gives me that unfair advantage, because a lot of these other places that you can get all these components, they might not be as willing to put themselves out there and to engage with the community as I am. So is that something that I could put in there? I'm not sure. I'll put it in there for now, kind of pencil it in, and then we'll see what it's like. I mean, personal brand. I don't know. Hmm. And the thing is too, is I don't think I could say something like community, because although, like, of course I want to build a community, and that's one of my huge goals, but that's not my unfair advantage, because everyone else has a community as well too, right? So, right. So personal authority with that. So when I think of personal authority, I guess my whole thought process is you're an authority in the sense that you know, like you're almost like an expert in that field, right? You're like a domain expert. So, and I guess maybe that's where I guess I'm just getting bogged down in the terminology so much, in that the personal brand in terms of me being out there, I guess at the end of the day is like, when people do hear me and hear me talk and speaking, that I guess I would want to seem as an authority figure in terms of I know what I'm talking about. So maybe that's a better way to say it. Yeah. So we'll leave it. We'll leave that there, and then we'll see what comes to that. And I love what he was saying in terms of having this being a living document, anyways. So there's always going to be times where, you could, like adjust and figure out where your actual unfair advantage is happening as things grow organically, which is really nice. Okay, cool. I like it. So channels.
The channels box is where you list your path to customers. Building a scalable path to customers is key to realizing the full potential of your business model. And channel building isn't something to defer to later, but rather to start building from day one. The good news is that you don't need to have scalable channels from day one. It's okay to start with a handful of outbound channels to first jumpstart your learning. Here are some possible outbound channels suggestions that might help. At the same time, take a stab at identifying where your scalable channels might come from. These typically take time to build, so it helps to start thinking and even testing them in some small scale manner now versus waiting until you really need them. Here are some examples of possible scalable channels that you might use to grow your business down the road. You'll see my list of both scalable and non-scalable channels for the photo sharing product in this example.
Okay. I think this is pretty straightforward, this section here. Okay, so landing page, email collection. Is it AdWords or AdSense? I think it's AdSense is when you get paid. I think it's AdWords. Okay. Or is it spelled like this with a W? I'm trying to think about in terms of my personal connections and contacts right now. And I don't think I have enough people that I know personally that are as specific to being, Webflow only to be able to make too much of a dent with that. So I think we could just start off with these two for now, because we don't have, obviously I'm creating videos constantly on YouTube. So that definitely could be a channel. And I am blogging, but not so much. It's more newslettering. But that one's, it's not directly looking for people that are looking for Webflow websites, right? I think we'll leave it at that. I want to go back real quick.
The channels box is where you
the examples that he illustrated. Yeah, teaser page. Yeah, okay. No spot. Yeah. So one thing that I do want to do, which I've been talking about for quite a bit, is to hold some type of group, just like a class. What is it? Just if I want to get people who want like a course, like an in-person, a workshop. That's the word. Yeah, to holding a workshop. So I'm going to say in-person workshops. So I want to go out there in the community, at least locally, and talk to business owners, talk to people in the industry, and see who might be interested in coming in person for like a 1 day or whatever workshop where I could just teach what I know about Webflow and building websites to anybody that might be interested. I think that'd be really cool to do. Am I going to start this? I don't know. Maybe I should. I'm wondering about how detailed I should go, because this might not be like landing page, email collection. That's going to be number one. AdWords is going to be number two. And the AdWords, of course, is going to lead just to the landing page. And then, of course, my YouTube channel. Like, those are going to be the main things that I'm going to be starting off here, within this first 3 months. So I'll leave that there for now. And if there's other ones that I think of, maybe I'll put them in later. So revenue streams. So this one's going to be pretty straightforward. There's going to be just lifetime access of $3.99 per user. That's it for now. And maybe have like a 3-day free trial. It's pretty simple. Let's see if there's anything here that I might have missed.
If you follow the prescribed order for filling the canvas so far, you should already have the customer segments and problem boxes defined. I used to have people tackle the
I don't know what the prescribed order is. Anyways.
solution box next, but find it more effective to switch the order and tackle your revenue streams first. While you might have identified some interesting problems, unless those problems can be monetized, you could still end up building a solution that doesn't lead to a viable business model. Remember that there is no business in your business model without revenue. While I don't think a business should solely define its purpose around revenue, think of revenue like oxygen. We don't live for oxygen, but we need oxygen to live. Revenue serves as the oxygen for your idea, and you need to be able to articulate a revenue story from day one. People often cite services like Facebook and claim that they didn't make any money for years, so why should we? That is simply not true. While Facebook wasn't profitable for some time, they generated revenue from day one by placing Google ads on their pages, which they eventually replaced with their own advertising platform. They had a clear delineation between users and customers in their business model. Users used their service for free and in exchange paid with their attention, which was a derivative asset that Facebook then monetized through advertisers who were their true customers. You need to be able to similarly articulate your revenue story. Start by identifying who is the customer in your business model. In direct business models, your users and customers are the same person. But in more complex models, you can have multiple actors, and the person using your product is often not the same as the person buying.
No, they can be the product.
Look for evidence of monetizable pain. The best evidence of monetizable pain is money being spent on an existing alternative. The second best evidence is time being spent towards solving a problem that if you can reduce or eliminate with your solution, that could be monetized. Finally, take a stab at defining your pricing model. You might be wondering how you do that without first defining a solution. Pricing against your solution is cost-based pricing. This is where you start with how much your solution costs to deliver, then slap a modest margin.
I wonder if he's going to start talking about value-based pricing as opposed to, what he's saying here is just kind of cost-based pricing. So that'd be interesting. Like how much is it worth to the customer to solve that particular problem? And then depending on, and then the time and effort it goes to creating that solution isn't really the price. It's the price is what the value is that you're bringing to the client. So I guess another way to think about it is that if I could build something, maybe it takes me like 2 seconds to build, but yet it solves like $100,000 problem to a client, then that little solution could be worth, $50,000, $60,000, whatever the case may be, right? So it's not just worth, $2 because it only took me like a second to make, right? So I can't really think of a really good example about that right now, but I just think of somebody who's really, really knowledgeable about, I don't know, like building houses or like a plumber or something like that. And they've got decades and decades of experience, and somebody's having a really big problem with their house, and then they go to the house, and the guy is like, okay, goes in, turns off like a little clicking thing or whatever in the house in the tap, and then does it in like 2 minutes and gives them a bill for like $5,000. Like $5,000, you're only here for like 2 minutes. Like, yeah, but I spent all this time and whatever to be able to understand that it would only take me 2 minutes to solve this kind of problem. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know if that's a really good example. Yeah. The Citibank and Travelers merge logo. I didn't know that was a thing. Is in terms of like how much it cost to make that logo. Probably cost them a shit ton of money, but probably maybe didn't take very much time to do. Like the whole 5-minute logo. Paula. It reminds me of this is way back in the day when Gap changed their logo, and it was so bad that they had to go back on it. So there's a few things on here. Financial crisis of 2008. This is your logo. Did she actually sell it for $1.5 million? Right, yeah, exactly. 20 years worth of brand identity to solve the customer's problem. Yep. Ah, it's really cool. So that's what she sold it from? Almost 10 million. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the brief $10 million for their whole redesign or whatever, their overhaul. 1.5 for the logo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I believe so. Yep. Yeah, that's the way to do it for value-based pricing as opposed to just product service-based pricing. Anyways, let's see what this guy's going to say here.
Margin on top of that to figure out what to charge. This approach doesn't usually lead to the most optimal pricing for your product.
Right.
A much better approach is using value-based pricing. Here,
There we
you
go.
don't price
He said
against
it.
your solution, but rather against your customers' problems and existing alternatives. Try to place a value on you solving your customers' problems and use their existing alternatives to anchor your pricing. If you believe your value proposition is stronger than the existing alternatives, you can stand to charge more. Otherwise, you charge less. Pricing is a complex topic and we'll cover it in greater detail in future videos. But for now, I'd like you to at least start thinking about your revenue sources and come up with a rough pricing model, as it's one of the riskier parts of any business model.
Yeah, it definitely is really tough because, I mean, if you look at all the different libraries that are out there right now, there's a few of them. And most of them are basically between $20 and $50 a month to get access to their whole library. Some of them could be even more, depending if you base per use. So if you're paying, say on average, maybe let's just say $50 a month. So you're paying $600 a year to have access to these components. So if I'm going to use that to anchor the price, and of course, if you're building a website for a client, say you have one client and it's going to cost $5,000 to build a website. Now, if it'll take you, say, 50 hours to build that website because you have to start from scratch, but if you use my template or components, whatever, and then all of a sudden that 50 hours turns into 10, then you just saved yourself 40 hours of work. So now you have 80% more free time to get more customers. So that $5,000 client is just, like, I don't know, it's 80%. So then technically it'd be like $1,000. So you'd be making 80% more money or whatever, or 4 times the amount of money, something like that. So therefore, if you save, basically you save them or got them an extra $4,000 so that you could basically charge them like that much money that they've saved, right? So yeah, very interesting. Hello, Leon. Nice to have you on the stream. Welcome. So that being said, like, but the thing is what is a hard pill that someone's going to be able to swallow initially? And it depends too. Like an agency would for sure be willing to pay like $1,000, maybe even more. I don't know. But an individual freelancer, they're not going to have $1,000 to be able to go ahead and pay. So yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm just going to, let's just throw out this range here for now. Because again, if I just think of what are the competitors out there, what are they charging? And if they're averaging, between $5,000 and $1,000 a year, if I can charge around the same thing, but you get it lifetime, I think that would be good. So anyways, yeah. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, this whole talking about pricing. Oh man, I've done it so many times. And totally aside, but with my other company that we started way back a long time ago, which is still alive right now. But we went over pricing so many different times, and we ended up right now, anyways, we're at $100 a month for as many users and as many people, as many projects and dashboards as you want. But we've gone over so many different things where we had it used to be per user or what have you. So it's the one thing I'll say is not to worry so much about pricing initially. Really, you got to get people actually using your app, because we've gone back and forth with pricing for this so many times, but yet we never even had any paying customers. Not really. That's like, why waste all your time worrying about that right now? So, and basically what this is application that we used that helps manage real-time data. So you have data streaming in from a bunch of different sensors and all that kind of stuff, and you can bring it all through here. Anyways, whatever. You can have a look at this if you want to. But this is my old company. So what's your business plan? Sorry, you're new. Yeah, no problem at all. I will try to explain it here very, very quickly. So I run a website or a company called Pixel, and we build Webflow websites for our clients. So basically, we're a web design agency. So that's what I do, and I've been doing that for about just a little over a year now. And what I'm doing right now is I am building a Webflow component and template library so that people can buy access to it and be able to have components and templates so that they can go ahead and build their own websites, to speed up their development time. So that in a nutshell is what my business plan is. So, and what we're doing now is, we're actually building the business plan right here through this whole lean canvas model thing here. And we're trying to figure out what our plan is going to be for building this Webflow component library. And I could say this real quick. We could just bring it up open right here in Webflow, because this is it right here. It's actually pretty much built already of what Pixel Pieces is going to be. And like I said, it's just going to be a library for people to be able to access the components and templates that we're going to be building. So yeah, if you wanted to check this out, I think you could probably see it on staging right now. Yeah, so if you went to pixel/pieces.webflow.io, in fact, I could probably just put that in the chat. Is that allowed to go in the chat? Yeah, it is. Okay. My mouse is dead. Right. Yeah, so if you go there, you can kind of check it out. All right. So thank you. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. I just heard a bunch of glasses drop there in the kitchen. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. So I think we only have one more thing to fill out in our lean canvas, which apparently so Leon, this lean canvas is a new modern way to build a business plan where you're not spending so much time doing 20 pages of spreadsheets and whatever. It's just like this one page. You just fill this out and then kind of here's your business plan. So, all right. So this is the last part. This is the unique value proposition. So this is going to be interesting. Let's have a listen.
Dead center in the canvas is another key pillar of the business model, your unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition represents a single clear statement or promise that you make to your customers in order to get their attention.
Right.
Getting noticed by your potential customers is the first battle for any product. It's not enough just to have a value proposition. In order to get noticed, you have to be different, and your difference needs to matter to your customers. Here are some ways to define your unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition is derived from the intersection of your problem and your solution. So craft your unique value proposition around your top problem. And instead of just thinking about features and benefits, think in terms of your finished story benefit. Your finished story benefit is the value a customer derives after using your product.
Right.
So if you have a job listing service, for instance, your unique value proposition isn't the cool resume or CV building feature you have, but rather the promise of helping job seekers find.
So yeah, get your job, come with us and then you'll have a job. So you're selling like the dream, not just the features. Yeah.
Find their dream job in 60 days. Next, avoid the use of empty words like simple, fast, and easy in your unique value proposition.
Okay.
Yes, I know Apple uses these words all the time, but you are not Apple, at least not yet. They can get away with these words because they have built up a reputation and brand around simplicity. Until you have established your own brand, err on the side of being more specific in your unique value proposition. Here's a formula by way of Dane Maxwell for crafting your UVP that I also include in my book, Running Lean. The first part of this formula is the end result customers want, which is like the finished story benefit. The next fragment constrains that promise with a specific period of time. And the final fragment addresses any objections your customers might have. In order to create your unique value proposition, you don't have to use all three fragments in the...
So I think for me, then it would be something like build amazing. Oh, don't use amazing. That's the bad word. I think he was saying. Build like Webflow websites in 80% less time or something like that, right? Because that's the value proposition, is that the results that the customer wants is to be able to build websites faster. And this, I guess faster is, that's the specific time period, would just be, I don't know, whatever. I mean, I don't think I can make any claims of like 80% faster or whatever, but just faster. But the objections, what are the objections? I think the objections would be, is the website going to be good? Is it going to function? Is it going to have good functionality? Like is it going to be, like programmatically, is it going to be actually solid? Why did I close that? I guess that's what I think too, is like if I'm buying a template or I'm buying a component or themes, whatever, it's like, is the underlying code behind it of actual good quality? So that's a big, what's the word I'm looking for?
Customers might have.
Objection that I would have.
In order to create your unique value proposition, you don't have to use all three fragments in the formula. Down below, I have listed a few examples for ideas that you can use to craft your UVP. Finally, since you'll be using your unique value proposition as a headline on your landing page or maybe even a Google or Facebook ad, you want to make sure your UVP can fit the character limits of these services. A shorter unique value proposition is also more memorable, so aim to keep it under 140 characters. Once you have your unique value proposition defined, head on down to the high-level concept on the canvas. Your high-level concept is not a replacement for your unique value proposition, and you never lead with it, but it's a helpful tool to have to make your unique value proposition even more memorable. Hollywood producers use this concept all the time to summarize a movie plot into a memorable soundbite. If they were pitching the movie Aliens, for instance, they might say it's like the movie Jaws, only in space. You can do the same thing with products. For example, when YouTube first launched, the founders described their service like Flickr for videos. Today we see lots of Airbnb for this or Uber for that, which are all examples of high-level concepts. Remember that your high-level concept does not replace your unique value proposition, but helps complement it after people have seen your unique value proposition. Now, it's possible that you come up with many different angles for your UVP or your high-level concept that you will test over time. Feel free to brainstorm and list more than one, like I do in this example.
Okay. The high-level concept is interesting. I was never the biggest fan of that, because it's like, oh, this is the Facebook of this or the Google of that. But I guess it could help people kind of think about what you're doing. So unique value proposition and high-level concept. So high-level concept, I just had a thought. Shit, did I forget it? What was that thought? Oh yeah, with it's like Legos. It's like, Lego for websites. It's not the right way of saying it, but like it just makes building things fun. Like it's just like piece by piece, right? Like you just put it together and then away you go. Anyways, is that good? I don't know. What do you guys think? So unique value proposition would be build websites in hours, not days. Something like that. Oh, so you like that? Sounds good. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Build websites in hours, not days. So what is it again? We have to marry the problem with the solution without using buzzwords. Let me throw up. I'd like to see some of those examples again. Get back the more Get back to the more important things in your life faster. Share your entire right. So you can get a little bit more, maybe more specific and saying something like build fully functional websites in less time. Yeah, that's bad. So we get, what about some statement that deals with agencies and spending lots of time managing clients? What would be a good value proposition for them? Something like making your clients happy, like exceeding their expectations. Okay, let's start brainstorming. Make your clients happy by like delivering websites that exceed their expectations. And that's kind of like, I remember on Pixel, I had something, the tagline was, we build websites that make your customers fall in love with you. Something like that. So it could be something like, like have your customers fall in love. Maybe this sounds really stupid actually. Fall in love with you by delivering like amazing like products, right? Okay, we're just brainstorming here because I don't really like that. So it says avoid buzzwords. I guess things like beautiful and and like easily build websites. Yeah, I guess those are kind of the fluff words that he was saying to avoid. So let's try to avoid that kind of stuff. How else can I reword this? Like I like this where this is going. Like make your clients happy by delivering websites that exceed their expectations. But I feel like make your clients happy. I feel like I could reword this into something a little bit better. Make your clients happy. Let's see if we can example of unique value proposition. That's lean canvas. All right, 6 modern examples. Okay, sorry. Instant clarity, yeah. End result the customers wants. Okay, what is the end result? They want fast websites, beautiful websites, hot, fresh pizza. So, where are we? Right here. So you can have something. Let me get another one. Beautiful websites. No, I think it's still built. Beautiful websites. Yeah, it's hard to know how much time to shrink it down to. So this says like in 30 minutes or it's free. Pick your words carefully and own them. A few keywords: performance, design. Lean Canvas spends more time building. So it could be something like spend less time building, more time like growing your business too. What do we got here? Value proposition canvas. I just want examples. Give me some examples. We help X do Y by doing Z. I help marketing teams resonate with target by communicating with clarity and passion. This almost sounds more like a why statement than a value proposition. Okay, Slack. Okay, it's not very helpful. Build beautiful websites in like less time. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Oh, there's definitely no or your money back. Build beautiful websites in 30 minutes or it's free. Yeah, you're very welcome. If there's ever any questions or whatever, just let me know. What brings you here today, by the way? Okay. Yeah, I guess it can be this short, right? Like build websites in hours, not days. Everything is good. That's what I like to hear. All right, awesome. So we have the problem again. The real problem is time. Time and clients. And you get the time back by having easy to use, ready-made components and templates. So build, yeah, I think. It's hard. It's hard crafting something that is really short and just resonates
it's possible
really,
that
really
you
well.
Come up.
Oh, geez, that was loud. Sorry. Yeah, I find it hard to write something that's short that resonates. Share your entire photo and video library in under 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good. In a fraction of time. In a fraction of time? Yeah, I think where I'm having trouble is just really illustrating the time that you would save. So I guess I'm having trouble articulating the solution. Maybe it's just something, build beautiful websites in hours. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Build beautiful websites in hours, not days. Yeah, I think that works. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, it's like not days or weeks or months. Like, I mean, it takes a lot of time. I think saying hours, not days, I think that gets the point across. And I think we could do, I think, one unique value proposition for the Webflow guys, and then one for the agency. Do I know NSUT? No, I don't know what that acronym stands for. So I guess I would have to answer no, unless you could just maybe give me a little bit more detail. Is it some type of business plan or lean canvas thing? I'm not sure. So it could be something like spend less time building websites and more time less time building websites and more time making money, basically, right? Oh, that's weird. But that doesn't deal with the issue of dealing with like tight deadlines. No, I don't. No, I do not. Hello. Sorry, I don't have the favicons are not showing up here on my display. I have to figure out how to do that. How you doing? And welcome. Spend less time building websites. So I do like the, like delight your customers by building beautiful websites fast. Something like that. Well, thank you very much. Maybe it only seems that way. No, was it working hard or hardly working? Yeah, well, we're just working away. Not going to stop until we make it to that $1 million mark. So, however long that takes, however long it's going to take. So, I'll be here every step of the way. Delight your customers by building beautiful websites fast. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I think that. Yeah, I like that. What do you guys think? I think that's good. Delight your customers by building beautiful websites fast. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, from what we just watched in the little clip, like these are a lot of the little taglines that you would use probably while making Google ads or what have you, which we're probably going to do in the next couple of days and turn this into a little SEO, because we're going to build out a landing page to get people that would be interested in this product and get them to subscribe, and then go from there. So that'll be happening in the next few days. Awesome. Thank you. But the thing with SEO is, that's like, with me and writing and coming up with really good words, it takes me a long time. So if you've seen any of my other stuff, whenever I'm writing content and trying to come up with those types of things, it generally would take me a while. I get there eventually, but it's a little bit more difficult for me sometimes. Okay, so we can get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one. And we can get rid of that one. And get rid of this one. Okay, so these are our two value propositions, which I think will form a really good starting point. We build beautiful websites in hours, not days. Delight your customers by building beautiful websites fast. I feel like that word fast is like, what does that mean, fast? Like the whole idea is like faster than normal, I guess, right? Or that you're used to. Okay, so I think that's it. So what do we do? What do we do with this now? Now that we're done, I guess now we need to test and validate this thing, right? Okay. So this is what we're going to do, I think. So we have our little lean canvas. We have our business plan. We have our value proposition. And yes, I don't know you. I don't know who you are, but welcome anyways. Okay, yeah, so we have all of this. So what we're going to do is we need to test this. So we're going to test this by, again, so we have our site here, but I mean, it's not ready. It's not built. I mean, it's built, like you can actually log in and do all that kind of stuff, but we don't have any templates or components that are ready. So what we'll do is we'll create a landing page that I'll just say, hey, whatever the value proposition is, where did we go? Hey, build beautiful websites in hours, blah, blah, blah. We're coming up with the component library, and then we'll get them to sign up we'll just set up a MailChimp newsletter, and we'll get people to sign up, and maybe we'll try to get 100 people to sign up, and then we'll run ads on Google to get people on that landing page, and we'll see if people sign up. And then from there, we could start canvassing the people that sign up to our list to ask them what they're interested in if we built a new component and template library. I think that's the idea, if that sounds good. You can test the database. Yeah, I think everything should be working fine. So you definitely test that. Hello, Rafael. Nice to see you. From Brazil. Welcome. That's called SAML login. We used MemberStack to build out the backend of the site. And that would be this site right here. We probably spent about 20 episodes on the stream building out that site. So if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so does that sound like a good plan? I think that sounds like a good plan to me. So is there anything else that's left to do with this business plan? So again, like I said, so tomorrow I am presenting this in this group. This is Propel. This is the accelerator that I'm part of. So tomorrow I'm going to be presenting this. I think we're going to be presenting it because it's called like the pitch. So a pitch contest. So we'll be presenting that, and then we'll see how this plan goes over with the coaches and all the other entrepreneurs that are going to be there. And then I'll report back to you guys tomorrow how it goes. So I don't know exactly when that is, but I think it's tomorrow morning-ish. So on LinkedIn, it's kind of funny. I don't do very much social media. I'm on LinkedIn. If you just search my name, you'd find it there. But I don't do LinkedIn just quite yet. So yeah, anyways, you can find me. Just search my name and it'll be there. And then you can hit me up there on LinkedIn. Absolutely. But of course, the easiest way to hit me up is just kind of right here on YouTube. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined. I think this is probably the largest stream we've had in terms of the number of people that were actually coming here in the comments and commenting. So thank you so much for joining. And we're getting close to 200 subscribers, which is like super amazing and just super humbling. Thank you so much to all of you guys for joining. It's really, really cool. And yeah, I'm just hoping that I can just keep pumping out value and some good content for everyone here. Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So right, I think I have covered everything that I want to cover today. Does anyone have any questions or anything else that I should cover today before we sign off? Because I think I'll definitely save actually building out the landing page, and we'll do the Google Ads. We can do all that stuff tomorrow, which is going to be kind of fast, and yeah, we'll do it fast, but it'll be really fun. But yeah, I just really want to whip through this whole thing, this whole process of seeing how well this type of lean canvas works for testing and launching kind of like your business plan and your ideas. So I really want to start working really, really fast to really seeing how we can get people coming into our platform really fast. So yeah. All right. Well, if I don't see any questions, again, thank you so much to everyone for joining. A bunch of new faces. So I hope to see you back here again. We're here we're here every day, Monday through Friday. The times are a little bit different in terms of when I get to stream. But I'm looking forward to seeing everyone back here again tomorrow. So with that being said, have yourself a fantastic... Oh, if there's any... Like maybe I should probably have some type of repository for anything that we do like this here, because this thing here, I can export it to PDF. So maybe there's a place that I could put a little slice of the internet somewhere where all the kind of content and stuff that we've developed on the stream, that we can put it somewhere where people can see it. So maybe I'll think about that. So yeah, anyways, a few more comments here. Becoming famous. Yeah. Thank you. Would that be something? That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. A Notion public page. That is a really good idea. I never thought of Notion. Actually, I was watching, there was a video by somebody. I think it was James Johnny. Yeah. Really awesome YouTube channel. This guy's a super awesome kid. Anyways, one of his ads was Notion sponsor. And I was like, yeah, Notion is really, really cool. I need to figure out a way that I could use it. And this might be something, that would be like perfect for that. So I'm going to definitely look into that and see what we can do from there. Perfect. Okay. I'm leaving now for good. Thank you so much, everyone. Really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you back here for another stream tomorrow. Have a good one and take care. We'll see you tomorrow.